Mark Rappy, and with me I've got Harry Lillis. Good morning, Harry.
Good morning, Mark. Think we're in for a good race today.
Yeah, so here we are at Monaco, the crown jewel of the F1 calendar. Your thoughts of the track, just quickly?
Hands down, of course, what the most, I'm going to say, most difficult track on the calendar. It seems to be a relatively kind of, you either love or hate this track, and we've got a couple drivers I've been talking to throughout the week that love the track, and of course probably most of them dislike the track. It's quite a lot to go around for 39 laps, but it's very rewarding if you just keep your nose clean, and I'm sure with as skilled drivers as we have here, we might only have one or two incidents. Other than that, I think it's going to be a pretty good race.
So I'll just get you to run through championship standings quickly if you have them there.
Yep.
While we wait for everyone to ready up.
Yep. So leading the championship by only 8 points, Tyler Beasley in the Ferrari. He's followed by Andrew Lee, who I've just said is only 8 points behind, and surprisingly, Jacob Todd, or without just calling him Toddy, in the Renault, he's 46 points behind. So there's quite a substantial gap from the top two, and yeah, the behind him to cap off the top five is Phil and Josh. There's only a 3-point gap between those two guys, between the German and the New Zealander, and everyone below 13th. Actually, no, never mind. I just can't read numbers. But yeah, the most substantial gap in the championship is definitely the gap between second and third, between Andrew Lee and Toddy, and just kind of goes to show, I guess, how fast those top two guys are. But Toddy's done actually really well to keep third place there. Yeah.
So you might have answered this, but where is our championship defender of Bailey Ford currently in the standards?
Bailey is 6. He's got 36 points. Now, the reason for this, he's made a couple of race-ending mistakes in this season, which is unlike Bailey. He's obviously disappointed of where he is. But earlier on this week, in fact yesterday, we were doing some practice, and his pace seemed to be he had very good pace around here, at least 1 lap pace. I didn't really pay attention to his race pace, which is probably matters a lot as well, but of course on a track like Monaco, qualifying pace is definitely something crucial. So just looking at the points there, Bailey could realistically, with a good result, move up to probably P4 if he gets a really good result.
Yep.
If Toddy doesn't go so well and Bailey does really well, he could actually even move up to, this is a long shot, maybe even P3. I mean, that's yeah, but that's a wild kind of prediction. That'd be best case scenario for him. Other than that, I think Bailey's just looking to consistently, slowly move his way up the standings.
Yeah, well, first off, we need Bailey to get out of the slump that he's in currently. Baku, he crashed out at the castle. Spain, he spun himself out after fighting with Andrew and Tyler. So, he needs to get himself out of whatever's going through his head at the moment. But Tyler Beasley on here on the YouTube stream, hey, all I'm aiming for is to survive in a dry race. So thank you for that, Tyler. Good luck to yourself, mate, while out there in the walls of Monaco. But we have a Mercedes that will be first on track. I wonder who that will be. It is Bailey. So That's a bit unusual. Bailey's usually one of the last of the cars come out on track, and then he's got a Renault behind him of Sebastian, his good mate. So yeah, what sort of times are you predicting here, Harry, for pole position today?
Pole position, I'm saying high 108s. Yesterday in practice, Bailey was setting substantially quick lap times. I'm not going to jinx him, but just in total, I'd say the average around here for these guys is very low 9s, and the probably top 3 will be high 1.8s, 1 minute 8s. So as the track at the moment, of course, is still not very rubbered up, we will probably see those types of times later on in the session. Drivers are probably just now setting a basic benchmark of what kind of lap times they want to stay under. But yeah, we'll right on board with Bailey Ford as he starts his lap. Now, I apologise, I am absolute garbage at memorising corner names in general, let alone Monaco. Yeah, turn 1, he's gone pretty well over that curve. You can actually cut a reasonable amount of that, but you have to be cautious not to invalidate your lap. This corner is very hard for people that don't run ABS because you have to turn and brake at the same time. Bailey's gotten very well and he's lost traction. Very lucky not to hit the wall there, but he's approaching the hairpin. Iconic part, probably the most iconic corner in Formula 1. He's gotten past there pretty well, but he would have lost many tenths in that loss of traction there. Through the tunnel now, I'm fairly sure, oh no, it's not at the RSM, but yeah, coming down to the Nouvelle chicane, braking nice and heavy. This is where you can make or break a lap. You can invalidate over that yellow sausage curve, but you can also gain about 4 or 5 tenths if you nail it just right. In the final sector now, very technical. You got to make sure not to touch any of the walls here. On the final laps, you can choose to go a bit wider here for a more straight line speed. Let's see what Bailey can do as he crosses the line with a 1 minute 9.2.
So there, you were saying just a second ago that you're expecting high 9s for the
low 9s. Sorry.
Well, yeah, but for your first banker lap to be, you know, a mid 9, and Bailey's just coming out and smashed it with a low 9. Todd's gone with a mid 9 with a 9.6. Phil's in a 10.3. Aaron's in a 10.4. Josh Banks does a 9.5. So that's your mid-range 9s that you were just talking of. And then we got Addy with a 10.6 in P6. You got Andrew with a 10.8 in P7, and Ken Doyle 11.4 on in P8. A couple of other talking points. We got Albert Ramirez on the medium compound tyre for the other Mercedes. He's just swapped on to Sauce, as I was saying that. You got Mon Waller on the in the Haas on the medium tyre. So and we got Tyler Beasley on the hards, which is Tyler's normal strategy. So as one McLaren comes out, one's trying to come in. So
we'll just talk about the absolutely blistering time from Mackenzie there, 1:21.2. Absolutely outstanding lap there from the New Zealander. That'll put him P10.
That wouldn't even put him pole position in F5, guys. That's how blistering of a lap that is. But obviously not taking anything of him. He can run with the front. We just like the banter with Mackenzie a bit more than everybody else. So he's just actually gone purple in sector 2, so he's on an absolute charge here. He comes around the final corner. What can he do? He's 109.3, so there we have it. We were just mocking him for that 21, but he's just come out and absolutely set the timing charts a lot on fire. So puts himself provisional P2 at the moment. Tyler's now come out on the medium tyre, so he didn't even set a time on those hards. So there must have been a bit of front wing damage there somewhere. Or as an out in lap all in one. So you got Toddy and Phil back on the out laps. New set of softs. And they're actually catching Sebastian, but Sebastian's on his flyer, I do believe. He's just in front of these two, so of Phil and Todd. So someone's asked what was the pole lap last season. I can't actually remember. I know Bailey took it off John. I think John went 5 to 5 poles last season, and this is the first one he got knocked off, and Bailey took it. I can't remember what it was though, but Sebastian there was purple in sector 2 as well. So what can he do now as he comes across the line to do a 9-9? So great lap there from Sebastian to put himself and Jacob side by side at the moment.
Toddy's actually starting a flyer now.
Yeah.
Behind his teammate, perhaps. I mean, Toe's not exactly very helpful whatsoever around here. The straights are not exactly very long at all. And if anything, standing behind a teammate on a hot lap is just going to give you dirty air. So
dirty, yeah.
Seb will have to... I'll probably have to clear out in a minute for his teammate.
Well, Seb's got the McLaren of Phil in between them, so he's just got out of the way for Phil. Now his teammates. Yep. And
set a 109.8, which is on the medium compound. That is an outstanding lap there, actually, on the harder type of compound around Monaco. You won't really see many hard compounds around here unless people go for a alternate strategy.
So let's talk strategy quickly, Harry. Softs to mediums is the preferred strategy, I'm assuming, or is it a soft to hard sort of race?
It is definitely a soft to medium strategy, but to be honest, it's not...
Hang on, we've just got a big talking point here. Toddy's just been given a 5-spot grid penalty for contact with Andrews, so...
oh no.
That's not going to help either of the two. Andrew's got a bit of front wing damage, so he's going to need to come straight in. So, sorry to cut you off there, but we'll go back to strategy. So, yeah, as you were saying...
Definitely a soft to medium strategy, but for once, it's not by much. You can really go with both strategies. In my F3 race, there was one driver that I think finished P2 that did soft to hards, and really only the difference is, as Toddy does an insane corner cut. But really the only difference is, of course, the hard tyre. Switching to the hards from softs is you're focusing on your late game. You're going to lose time to the people that switch to mediums in the kind of pit window period. But towards the end, if you can kind of sustain your pace on a harder compound of tyre, it can actually benefit you quite a bit towards the end of the race. But overall, yeah, the strategy that we'll mostly see is soft to mediums from these guys.
So is it a stretch, softs to mediums? Is it pushing the softs to the edge of their life?
Surprisingly not. On a track like Monaco, that's obviously the smallest on the calendar, none of the tyres really die per se. I'm fairly sure people will be coming in to change to the mediums around lap, I'm going to say 12 to 14. Yep. And even then, the softs, they're starting to lose their pace, but they're not excruciating. And then the mediums towards the end don't really lose their pace all that much. So it's actually a track that tyre wear isn't actually, or doesn't actually feel that bad in comparison to other tracks. But yeah, that's about that.
That's that. So we got Josh Banks is on a flyer at the moment, who we've been riding on board this lap. Well, not riding on board, but we're viewing. So, yeah, seemed to be a pretty clean lap. As you were saying that, we're watching him come into the tunnel and he short shifted from second all the way up to fifth. He's just on purple sector 3 to push him up to P2. So Bailey's banker lap looks to be pretty strong at this stage.
Very strong.
So we've got 8 people all in the 109s, and the top 9 are only separated by 9/10 of a second. So if you can find a bit of time somewhere around here, you could easily jump a position as Mackenzie's invalidated.
Bit of a talking point. I'm sure it's about to change when he comes out next, but Andrew's down in P12 with a relatively average lap, a 10.8, so I'm sure he'll be coming out soon. If not, no, he's not out yet, but yeah, he'll be coming out soon to try and improve that lap. Bailey's coming across the line now.
To start?
Oh,
108.9. So that's a blistering lap there from the Mercedes driver. Now, as we were just talking, I'll just bring up Race Director. Andrew's got a grid penalty as well for that collision with Todd. So, I'm assuming they're both five spots.
ouch.
So, yeah, they're both going to want to be 1-2 really to try and limit that grid spot, because you're not going to want to be at the back here at Monaco.
Now, keep in mind what I said earlier with the championship standings, in terms of the relationship between Toddy and Bailey. If Toddy doesn't have a very good showing and Bailey does, which we're kind of slowly seeing unfold here, and even though it's only qualifying, but yeah, perhaps Bailey could jump up a fair few championship positions here. It's a bit of a redemption, as he doesn't have the cleanest pit entry there. But could see a good result from Bailey here.
And this could be the turning point of his season too. If he gets a win here and really boost his confidence, he could well do come back and start fighting for that championship title again. So hopefully you have a good race. There's a bit of tyre smoke there in the pit lane. That's from a Ferrari. So who's that? That's Ken Doyle coming out of his pit box. Just lights up those rears. So we got Mackenzie out on track at the moment. Got Tyler on an outlap and Ken on an outlap. So what can Mackenzie do? He's just come through the end of sector 2 into sector 3. He's taken a lot of that curb.
Validated.
And he's backed out of it. So that's unfortunate there from Mackenzie, as Andrew's now out on track as well. Being pretty empty track with 3 and a bit minutes to go.
I just had a glitch where Mackenzie is speeded out the pit lane. He just somehow did a drive-through.
No, I've got the same thing. He's still on track, but I did watch him come into pit lane, so that is interesting.
What on earth?
Now I can't actually view his car. No, now he's in pits. Says on the timing screen. So,
what just happened?
So Tyler's on a flyer at the moment. He's got... What's the other... Sanders is out on a flyer. Now he's just ruined Tyler's hot lap. So this is one thing I try and put into all the guys' heads when I stream my POV for F5 is you got to know where you are on the track and what everyone else is doing around you, whether or not that's a track map or you keep looking in the rear mirrors when you're on an outlap. But especially around Monaco, there's not a lot of spots. Montweller's been given a 5-place grid penalty as well.
Oh my word.
For collision with Sebastian, so...
Sebastian's round. What's happened there?
Mackenzie was stopped up on top of the hill near the casino section. He's got Josh, I'm assuming...
What is going on?
Josh and Mackenzie get out of the way there from Sam. Mackenzie stopped again at the hairpin to get out of the way for, I'm assuming that would be Ken in the... Oh, it might have been Tyler, actually.
Was Tyler?
No, it was Tyler. So, as I was saying, yeah, you got to be so aware of where everybody is on circuit. And this is probably the hardest track to let someone by and not get in their way, but if you can help it. Yeah, now with only a minute to go, everyone's on track, so it's a pretty busy track. Well, I'll say that, as Andrew and Kenneth in pits, so that's their day done.
Andrew's not looking to improve. That's interesting.
Tyler goes P3 with a 9.3 with a bit of traffic, so what could have that been if there wasn't any traffic?
In
There's a lot of cars in that final corner. Who we got? Aaron is in front of... Oh no, that's all just pitted, so that's all empty. So Aaron coming across the line to start his final flyer. So what does he do into sector 1? We'll see. There's an Alfa Romeo he's just passed. He's a 10th up on his personal best, so Mackenzie's retired.
Oh, Phil goes up to P2.
Phil goes to P2. Okay, I'm having glitches all over here.
Yeah,
I can't select
here.
certain cars. Manuela's retired. Is that on track or in pits? No, it's in pits by the look of it.
Oh no, he's actually binned it on the last corner. He's gone wide and he's lost his
He has
front left.
too. So Bailey didn't finish that lap, so he might have invalidated earlier on. Todd goes now P2. Josh goes P2, sorry, with a 109.1. Todd goes to a 109.16, so there's only 1/10 in between Josh and Todd. Todd with that 5-spot grid penalty though is going to put him to P8. Now, does Sebastian have a 5-spot grid penalty as well? For his incident, we will find out in due time. But Bailey takes his first pole position, I think, for the season.
Yeah, I think it would be.
So, to answer my question, no, Sebastian does not have a 5-spot grid penalty. So, we've got Bailey Ford over Josh Banks, 0.2 of a second, 2.5 of a second. We surprised that no one else is in the 108s here, Harry?
I mean, yes and no. To get in the 108s is a absolute outstanding achievement. Bailey's done very well to do that. He's pretty quick around here. But as expected, yeah, low nights. Wasn't really expecting a whole lot more. I was only expecting maybe one or two other drivers, maybe Josh to get in the 108. But yeah, it's a very hard thing to do. And low 109s are not slow by any means. So
No. Another big one was Andrew Lee. Only 8 points behind Tyler, but Tyler's further up the field. Andrew's going to start at the rear due to penalties. What can he do from there, possibly?
Qualifying position is so important around here. Starting from the very back is worst case scenario. on lots of tracks, but especially Monaco. That's going to hurt him quite a bit, but we know what Andrew can do. He is a very, very quick driver and very consistent, so we can only hope that he gets up with a couple battles with the front runners, but it's going to take a lot of work. It's not going to be easy for him.
Possibly start on the hards and go to the softs if we get no safety car interventions.
Possibly. It's a good point.
So I'll let you do a grid walk for us there, Harry, if you don't mind, good sir.
Will do. In P1, Belly takes a dominating pole, setting the only 108 in the whole grid. He's starting P1. Behind him is a good mate of his, Josh Banks, in the Williams, followed by Phil in P3. I think we might have had a bit of a grid jumble up, or is this actually how the qualifying was? I could have sworn actually qualified P7, but anyway. Phil at the moment in P3.
Because Todd got that 5-spot grid penalty, bumps everyone up.
In P4, Tyler Beasley, he'll be looking to work his way up the grid. Behind him, Mackenzie in the Alfa Romeo. Behind him, also a good mate, Sebastian Spicer in the Renault, who was followed by the Mercedes of Albert. And behind him is Seb's teammate, Jacob Todd. First of the Red Bulls, Addy in P9, followed by Aaron in probably a slightly disappointing for him, P10. Behind him is Sam in P11, Ken Doyle in P12, Andrew in P13. He's got a lot of work to do this race. And finally, in the Haas, P14, Manuel.
Now, one talking point here, top 10 are all on softs, but Ken is the only one outside of the top 10 who's neglected to start on the soft compound tyre as well. So, what can he do here with the soft compound tyre starting near in the rear of the field? Now, it is funny how everyone gets pointed towards that outside wall here on the main straight, but as we wait for the lights to build, here we go. 2, 5 red lights apparently, and away we go, ladies and gentlemen. Bailey's got not the best of starts. He's blocked Josh a little bit. They're side by side in the turn 1. Phil's kept his position. Tyler's kept his. Mackenzie's dropped the spot already. Mackenzie and who's he battling with? Sebastian on the outside at Casino. Todd's already caught up to his teammate as they come down into the slowest corner on the calendar. As there is, Addy was trying to make a look on Andrew. So I didn't catch what happened there with Aaron. Just talk us through that if you saw anything at all, Harry?
Yeah, I think he might have got interlocked wheels with someone. That's just spun him around. That set him back. Not too much though, surprisingly. But there's no damage to foresee on that racing point. So at least that's a thing going for him at this moment. So the top 5 haven't changed positions at this stage. Bailey's just moving away ever so slightly. Josh Banks actually gets the quickest lap, which is a bit weird, being lap 1. Usually the first person over the line gets that quickest lap, but there you go. So 8 tenths between the 2 leaders. Phil's already dropped off the 2 at the front. He's 1.4 actually, or is that? Yeah, it is 1.4. He's dropping a massive time. Tyler's right up his gearbox. So it's the first time all season that Tyler's had to work for to get up to front. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do. Don't get me wrong, all season he's had pressure from behind, but now to get up to the front and hopefully close in on the front 2 is a different story for Tyler. Mackenzie Stewart in P5.
Clean start of the race so far. Had that little battle with Sebastian Spicer, but they both know each other, left themselves room. Andrew up to P9 on the mediums, being the first of the medium tyre runners, as Josh has closed in half of that gap now onto Bailey Ford. So over to you for a little bit there, Harry.
Will do. Yeah, Josh closely tailing Bailey. He's not giving up that gap. We've had a relatively clean start here. As Josh makes a little bit of contact with Bailey, just a friendly love tap. But yeah, as I said, pretty clean start here. No safety cars as of yet. On a track like this, safety cars do breed safety cars. But we seem to have relatively solid gaps between each driver. It's pretty consistent. Andrew's moved his way up to P9 as he goes into the Novel chicane. He's done well to move up from pretty much the back of the pack. Aaron is still at the back. He's not been able to recover as of yet from his turn 1 mistake. Josh just holding 5/10 lead as Tyler's into the pits already.
Yeah, Aaron hit the wall as well there. At the swimming pool chicane, I think it was, or the corner before the swimming pool. So, but Aaron's kept going. So Tyler's onto the hards.
Those hards will probably make it to the end. They'll be pretty not the best tyre to drive by any means towards the end, and well, yeah, the hards just aren't great around here anyway. But they should make it to the end. If not, he'll just have to maybe go onto the softs and try and set the fastest lap. But not a very good start at all from our championship leader, Tyler Beasley.
No. So Mackenzie Stewart's fallen off as Andrew gets P7 now off Albert. I didn't actually catch that move, just saw it there on the timing boards, but as I was going back, Mackenzie's dropped off the back of Phil now, and Phil's absolutely getting left behind by the front two, so just goes to show that these front two are driving for the win, and Mackenzie's got both Renaults looking up the rear end of him, so could have a tasty little battle coming on, and Andrew's just coming up to the Renaults now as well, so good recovery drive so far from Andrew.
Yeah, he's had a blistering start. Mackenzie, just as you were talking there, it's actually gone and got a 3-second time penalty. It is, I'd be lying if I said it was unlike him to get time penalties. But yeah, that will hurt him if a safety car comes out late race. But yeah, now he's got the pressure of Seb behind him now. In fact, just the two Renaults, as you just said. Andrew has done an incredible job to get up to P7. But yeah, the battles to keep our eye on are definitely between that P4 to P7, and of course Josh and Bailey. An aggressive battle around Monaco can end in tears. So we'll have to keep an eye out for anyone, even if it's towards the back, that are having a battle, because it can go really well or really bad. It's just even flags in sector 2. Why have we? Yeah,
Manuela just let Aaron through there before the swimming after the Novel chicane, so I think Manuela's he's got a bit of front wing damage, so he's coming into pits now. Tyler's back into pits as well, so Tyler with another front wing change.
Manuel's out.
Yeah, it's in pit lane. He has retired the car in the pit box. So Monaco not being his favourite track, obviously the team's still working on his car, but they haven't put a retire system in here properly as of yet, which is a bit of a shame for Codemasters. But big talking point, front two will run away from the rest of the field at this stage, and they're both keeping it clean off the walls.
Josh is only getting closer to Bailey's. Of course, on a track like Monaco, it is almost impossible to overtake around here. And
Phil's in the pits from P3. Sorry to interrupt you there. It looks to be a front wing change. So, another one hits the wall and bites the dust effectively. Puts Sebastian up to P3. What can he do? Puts Mackenzie up to P3. Sorry, Sebastian chasing for P3. What can Mackenzie do now with a clear track in front of him?
Yeah, well, he's out of the dirty air of Josh and Bailey. So, if anything, it's very hard to follow around Monaco with all the dirty air. So it just goes to show Josh is actually going really well to hold the gap. Now it's just kind of fluctuating between 3 and 5 tenths because he's looking for a spot to overtake, but he just can't find it. And it's very difficult to do so around here. Mackenzie, he is 7 seconds behind those top 2 guys, and he's got Seb on the tail. So I think it's going to be pretty separated. Unless we get a safety car that brings everyone together here.
And with these front 2, I wouldn't be surprised if they're not in a party chat together as Josh gets a bit squirmish there out of turn 1. Hasn't really cost him anything, but you know, and they're not wanting to fight each other. They know it's a long race, anything can happen. You'd near on bet, you know, $100 on there being a safety car, so there's no point fighting at this early stage of the race. Josh goes very deep into the hairpin, just starting to make a few little mistakes. Rear tyres might be a bit cooked.
Yeah, tyre wear would... I'm sorry to cut you off. Tyre wear would be slowly starting to kick in. So we'll see a couple of kind of tech slappers probably. By everyone as we approach lap 9. Pit window is probably going to open in about, I'm going to say, 3-4 laps, maybe even 5. But yeah, the tyres still probably have a bit of life in them as of yet.
So we got a bit of a train forming here behind Sebastian now, all the way back to Albert in P7. So it's a good 4-car train. Most of them being on the soft tyre, Andrew the odd one out being on the medium, so he's just got to look for all his braking points, not make any contact, and hopefully push when everyone comes in to get rid of their softs. So Andrew's in a good spot at the moment to make this reverse strategy work.
Yeah, he's in the box seat at the moment. He's keeping up the pace so well with these soft runners, which at the moment would be pretty difficult. He is right up the gearbox of Todd.
Almost gets tagged by Albert from the rear. I don't think Andrew will catch the front 2. It's almost, well, it's 8.5 seconds between Mackenzie and Josh, so I don't think Andrew will catch, as they all just get a 3-second warning there for Novell chicane. So Andrew will jump the 2 leaders when they come in, but I don't think he'll have anything to do to make it an overcut work. Mackenzie and Sebastian are in pits, so now can Andrew get in front of Todd cleanly?
Oh my.
I thought he was having a look there in the turn 1.
You guys, we've always said, are so precise because they can just seem to be able to go nose to tail without making contact, just flawlessly. Andrew is literally millimeters from Toddy's rear there. That is outstanding driving from the both of them. And it's the same goes with Josh and Bailey, but they're still not even as close as these two are together. So no. It's you gotta take your hat off to these guys. Will Andrew have a shot here into Novell? No, he won't. Easy to catch your rear left in the wall there and spin you around. I can say that because I've done it twice in my F3 race. Tyler gets a 3-second penalty. That's probably not going to affect anyone.
No. So at the moment, Tyler's 46 seconds off of Aaron for P12. There's a bit of contact there. Might have just been a bit of a love tap.
Lots of the soft ones in now.
Oh, Josh is in the pits.
Yep, lots of them are in.
So where's he? He's going to come out in front of Ken. So he's come out in front of everyone that's stopped recently. So he's P4 at the moment.
I'd go as far as to say that Bailey would probably be pitting in this lap. If he stayed out any longer, he'd just be losing more time to Andrew. At this point, that medium tyre is probably the faster one in comparison to the Baileys, of course, 10 lap old softs. So Bailey would probably be losing time if he stayed out this longer.
I don't think Andrew's his main problem though. I think it's more Josh, and Josh has got a bit of traffic, so hopefully Bailey can jump Sam in the Alpha Romeo, maybe even. So Bailey's on the move. He won't jump Sam, or he won't stay in front of Sam, so he's going to come out in front of Josh, possibly. This is going to be close. Josh has got him. Josh has absolutely got him by a mile. So,
oh my word, that undercut.
That undercut worked by an absolute treat.
Holy smokes.
So what are we going to see here from Sam and Andrew when they eventually pit? Because they will go onto the softer compound tyre.
Yeah, well, eventually. Obviously, those mediums have still got absolute plenty life in them. But of course, they're still 10 laps older than Josh and Bailey's. So slowly, as the next kind of, 10, 15 laps unfold, those front two, their tyres are going to start to die out, and Josh and Bailey's tyres are going to start to come into their prime. So it'll be interesting to see.
Josh has already pulled the gap pulled half of the gap on Sam in this one lap. It was 5 seconds at the start of this lap, and now it's 2.1. So 10 laps fresher tyres make all that gain. And you're talking about the two fastest on the track. Josh does the fastest lap with a 1:11.9.
Is looking good. He is at the moment, it's very early to call. At the moment, he's in the box seat. He is setting up, as Toddy actually tops it, but he's setting good laps, and he's just, that undercut on Bailey, that is remarkable. So, at the moment, after Andrew and Sam's pit stops, in fact, Josh might even get Sam before the pit stop. Josh is in a box seat here.
Yeah, we got a battle here for P7 as well, further down. Phil, Albert and Sebastian are all in their little train. I was just trying to figure out why Sebastian fell so much in that pit stop phase compared to his teammate. He was actually in front of Jacob before the pit stop, so as Albert's now on the outside of Nobel chicane trying to switch back, there's no real room to do a switchback there, as Josh and Bailey have Sam. Is this a front wing change?
Coming so early?
There's no front wing change. He's on the hard compound tyre.
What on earth is he doing?
Is this a mistake from the Alfa Romeo? It's going to put him right in this battle for P7.
Without a wing change, that pit stop was practically useless.
Well, maybe that's the strategy he's going for, just to go on the harder tyre.
Mediums to hards, that is not what you do around Monaco.
Phil's in the wall. Phil is in the wall. That's cost him another front wing. And he's overshot. He's actually retired, so hopefully the AI just leave the car there. But AI being retarded that they are, they won't. They'll go park it at the hairpin or something stupid.
Wouldn't be surprised.
So, will this possibly bring out a safety car, depending on where that AI parked Phil's car?
Yeah.
As Andrew's in the pits as well onto the hard tyre, so our strategy that we thought is all out the window here a little bit. Aaron's still on soft tyres, 13 lap old softs, so yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
Those mediums had so much more life in them. That is baffled me. I can't seem to gather why they would do that.
So now we got Josh leading Bailey, and Mackenzie 10 seconds back. And being on the older tyre of the top three. So now what can Andrew do on the hards? He's going to outscore his championship rival at this stage, who's not scoring anything. So Tyler will be hoping for a few more DNFs and then possibly go for a faster lap at the end of the race just to get some more point. Or just get that extra point and keep it off of Andrew or Bailey. But Todd's even having a great race as well in P4 at the moment, so
he is.
Yeah, very great race at the moment. Top two is still pulling away from everybody else.
These guys just keep after all the pit stops and jumbling around of positions. These guys still come out around the same gap that they did at the start, and this time Josh has got the upper hand and got P1 to just pass Aaron. Aaron's politely let them go under blue flags. So
smart move from Aaron. You don't want to be getting disqualified for something silly, and it wasn't an ideal location as well. A bit of a straight. So very good track awareness there by Aaron. Just cost Bailey a little bit of time though, because Bailey's now outside of DRS.
Interesting. He'll probably catch it back up reasonably easy. Just trying to gather any possible upsets. Andrew is about 5 seconds behind a top four, behind Toddy in fourth. If he can somehow catch that up as the race goes on and the mediums start to die out, and kind of his hard.
Josh Benson just got a 3-second penalty.
That might hurt him.
Bailey hasn't got one as of yet.
I'll check the race director for warnings to see if Bailey...
I think it's only Josh and Mackenzie out of the top five that have any.
Bailey's got 2 warnings for track limits.
So the race is not over yet. Todd is still right on the back of Mackenzie. I'm impressed with Todd's pace at the moment, actually, in the F1 category, to be P3 in the standings at this stage. So Albert's showing his nose to Andrew. Yellow flags in sector 2. That's Tyler. Tyler's DNF'd. Virtual safety car. Virtual safety car. This is not what the lead. Well, the leaders prefer this over a full course. Full course yellow.
That's dangerous. I'm surprised that's not a full safety car, actually.
So, yeah. Virtual safety car just gives everyone that little bit of time to cool down a tyre or two and
Charge up the ERS.
Charge up a bit of ERS.
Oh!
No!
Oh no!
No! Josh Banks has just been giving a drive-through penalty for speeding under
He's
virtual
just
safety
been
car.
stripped. Robbed.
So this will put him P2. Mackenzie, I don't think he'll drop the spot to Mackenzie. It's 16 seconds.
No.
Josh will have a couple of laps to try and pull a bit further away, but what's going to go through his head now?
He would be furious.
I'm not actually getting any of the questions here come up on the live chat for the YouTube. There have been comments, but I haven't been getting them come through on the live chat. So sorry if there are any questions coming through, but they're not quite popping up just yet.
I'll try and have a look.
Don't know what's going on there. I'll just restart the app and see if that helps. But so Bailey's now back in DRS range. Toddy's still there on Mackenzie.
It's kind of ironic, just looking back at the YouTube comments with Tyler Beasley saying, all I'm aiming to do is survive. He has failed that objective.
So that's a big chunk of points he's going to lose out.
Huge.
To his championship rivals.
That will actually give Andrew P1 in the championship.
Well, at this stage,
if he finishes in a good spot.
Yeah. What is he? 8 points behind. So that's
8.
What's that? P6, I think. 25, 18, 15, 10, 8, 6. Yeah, so P5, I think, will give him 10 points. Josh is serving his drive-through, which is a bit harsh. Actually, Todd's got around Mackenzie.
Oh, he has. When has he done that?
So I wonder if Mackenzie's made a little bit of a mistake. Both end plates are still there. Josh now's got a massive
I feel like
hill in front of him.
Bailey has just slowed down by like 2 seconds. I don't know whether that was intentional. I don't think he would wait up on an actual race day, but no, I don't think he is.
No, but he'll definitely know that he won't have to push as hard. You know, as long as he keeps that gap 5 seconds, Mackenzie gets another 3 seconds. So that's 6 seconds now for Mackenzie, which will put him P7 at this stage. So yeah, Bailey now. Ooh, excuse me.
I cannot believe that Josh has got that, went and got that drive through. That is just so unfortunate.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the virtual safety car, though. That the timing system. You know, he's just put his foot into it that second too early, and I don't think it works on games. It might work in real life, but I don't think it works on games as well as it should. So maybe something for Codemasters to look at for the next F1 game. Trying to get a better virtual safety car timing system.
Yeah, it's very hard to predict, and the problem is it's quite deceptive because F1 cars accelerate so extremely quickly, and when it comes up with a notification saying that the virtual safety car is ending, your immediate response, let's say your delta is under like 2 seconds, your response is kind of to put your foot down. And while you often get away with it fine, sometimes that delta just drops, and that's when people get caught out, like Josh has done, where just at the very end, right before the safety car ends, he just slightly goes over the delta. That is enough to get you a drive-through, and that is, to me, pretty stupid when it can cost people races like it's just done to Josh. He's held P2, and I'm sure he'll be happy with that, but he will not be happy throwing away a possible win.
No. Well, anything's still possible. We might yet see a safety car somewhere.
True.
Aaron's... Okay, so Aaron's been lapped by everyone apart from Ken. So Aaron's not having a great race. Ken's about to get lapped by Bailey. By about, I mean, a couple of seconds. He's probably 5 seconds up the road, but Bailey is coming. So... as we've got Sam in the pits for a new front wing. Sorry?
Just thinking now. In the next 6 or so laps, actually probably a bit more than that, probably about 10 to 8 laps time, we're gonna start seeing those mediums or start seeing those mediums slow down a little bit. And we've got the odd one out, Andrew, in P5 on the hard compound tyre, that will, in that same amount of time, within like 8 to 10 laps, will be coming into their prime. Whether or not that will allow, or make it easier for Andrew to catch up to Mackenzie, we'll have to see. I mean, I'm sure Andrew will hold a gap of 6 seconds because due to Mackenzie's penalties. So Andrew will most likely get P4, but of course anything can happen around here. Andrew will be looking to, we'll start to see his pace improve quite a substantial amount as this race unfolds.
Yeah, he's definitely one to keep an eye on, even if we're not watching him on stream. Keep an eye on him on the timing charts, because he definitely will be one to watch. And this is what I was saying with Bailey, now that he can just cool it down just a little bit and preserve those rear tyres, because they're the ones that really get hurt around Monaco as we get yellow flag. Oh, Ken's in the fence on the penultimate corner. I don't think he's retired. He has not retired as of yet. There's no damage on the car either, so very fortunate there for Ken. But yeah, as I was saying, Bailey can just cool these tyres off a little bit and not push, but that's when you seem to make more mistakes than what you would if you were charging 110%. As Aaron retires in the pit box.
4 DNFs.
So...
it's an interesting one. I don't
Josh
think
is
Andrew...
closing this gap up to the front. Sorry?
He is, actually. Yeah.
But apart from that, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have too much going on. Albert's dropped off the back of Andrew. As we'd expect, the softs start going off. The rears of him, anyway. So, I wonder if we'll see Ooh, excuse me, we'll see anybody do anything crazy here. Ken gets a 3-second penalty from multiple warnings.
I'm just wondering whether or not Andrew's hard compound kind of, well, medium to hard strategy is even going to pay off. I think best case scenario, it will give him P4, but I don't think it's going to be worth much. But he's done well anyway to get up from the very back to P5. Outstanding work from Andrew there, especially on an alternate strategy. We've got most of the grid fairly separated now, so it's going to be a bit more of a strategy kind of talk, if that. We won't have a whole lot to talk about. The closest gap we see is between Albert, who's actually caught up to Andrew quite a bit now. His tyres will probably die off a bit in comparison to Andrew's as we come into the last 10 laps of this race. 11, sorry.
Albert seems to catch up through the start of Sector 2, so all that twisty-turny stuff coming down the hill, where the mediums have probably given him a bit of traction coming out of the slower corner.
You know why that is? I've just noticed Andrew has end plate damage.
Oh. He does too. I've been viewing him for the last 2 or 3 laps and never even noticed that. So there you have it. Good eyes. Bailey now holding that lead to 11-ish seconds. 10.5 to 11 second lead. Mackenzie's fallen right off of Jacob as well. So much like last season at Singapore, Mackenzie had great pace on fresh tyres, and then I don't know, it seemed like he cooked his tyres and didn't really get the pace. So maybe that's the same problem he's got here today at Monaco. But again, he had great pace at the fresh tyre, but now that they're a bit old, you just can't seem to get it right. But again, the only battle on track that we have is Albert and Andrew. So what can Albert do for Team Mercedes effectively?
Josh is actually coming up to Ken now to lap him up. Will this won't be for the second time, will it? It'll be for the first time?
Josh's first time, yep.
Ken's politely gone or pulled away off the track. But yeah, it just goes to show with actually, yeah, probably not, but it goes to show how important qualifying position is around here. We've seen Bailey and Josh, I mean, they've just had really good pace throughout the whole kind of event here. But they've had the clearest track because of their qualifying position for the whole race, and that's allowed them to push up quite a reasonable amount. And it's going to prove kind of the common theory. Pole sitters around Monaco are much more likely to convert it into a win. As we're probably going to get proved here unless Bailey does a Baku and messes up his race.
Monaco Season 4.
What's he done? Oh, what did he do in Monaco Season 4?
About this time in the race, he chipped his front wing, and he had about this sort of gap too, but John Lindenberg caught and took the lead on the final lap. So I just brought up the Constructors' Championship, which is a good talking point at the moment. Andrew's now got a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. So Red Bull are leading 98 points. Ferrari are P2, so they're only going to get one extra, so that'll put them to 96. And then you got Renault is third with 78. They're going to score a good amount of points. Oh no, Josh is out! Where is this happening?
Oh no!
Where?
Oh no!
No, at the casino.
Oh, he will be furious.
Still no safety car. That is... Oh, we have full course safety car. Full course yellow. So Will Bailey now jump in the pits. He's got the gap. 19 seconds. Will he jump in the pits, go for a set of softs to run to the end? It's all spiced up now, ladies and gentlemen.
Safety car. Oh my word. This is gonna... Well, I don't know. Does Andrew have penalties?
I don't think he does. Bailey's not pitting. Yes, Andrew just got that 3 second.
Aha.
Just
so
a couple
Andrew
of
and
laps ago.
Mackenzie are going to lose out here.
But I think Albert's got one behind him. I think. So I'm surprised that Bailey didn't pit. I really am. Under safety car, until they cross the start-finish line, they're not entitled to go full speed to catch the safety car queue. So it would have effectively been a free pit stop. And he hasn't taken it.
That is... I mean, he's...
I mean, it's only 7 laps to go, but he would have still come out in front. And you would have had the fresher tyres by 20 odd laps.
I must admit, in the heat of the moment, as a race driver, you make decisions that in the moment you think are the right thing to do. So in the case of Bailey, he does not want to let up P1 here. He's looking for redemption from his less fortunate races. So possibly he's just kind of thought, you know what, I want to keep this track position. And he understands that even if you have good tyres, you're still going to struggle to overtake. So he's probably just fully focused on track position, and I don't blame him for doing so.
So as we say that, Sebastian, Andrew, Sam, Addy and Ken have all come in the pits. As now Mackenzie's in the pits. What's going on? Why would you do it on your second lap? Has he touched someone under safety car conditions?
Oh,
it's a front wing change. So
it's late in the race.
He's going to lose out to Sebastian and Andrew. So he must have touched Toddy under safety car. That's the only thing I can put it down to. Now, another big talking point here that has just formed now, Harry, due to all of this, is Mercedes are now 1-3.
That's true. That's big constructors points.
That is massive.
Now actually, of course we got Red Bull leading the constructors for F1, but Mercedes, it's kind of a bit jumbled up with teams here, have 47 points. If Bailey wins this and gets 25, that'll bring them up to maths around 60. 60
and then
something
you got
points.
Albert's 15 for
That
P3.
will probably bring him up to 4th in the constructors. They'll definitely jump McLaren, that's for sure.
Safety car in this lap. That's a very late call for safety car.
That's late, yeah. It's very late.
So Bailey's bolted.
Albert's not got a good exit.
The Ferrari of Ken's let everyone through. So that's good. good for them.
Oh, Mackenzie's got another penalty. That's going to knock him all the way down the order.
Yeah, apart from Ken, obviously he's a lap down. So another one is Renault at 2-4 at the moment.
That's true.
So good chunk of points in there. I think they're third currently.
They are third. They're 20 points behind Ferrari, who are not going to score much at all.
Ferrari are going to score 2 at the moment.
They might snatch P2. In the Constructors' Championship if all plays well in the last 5 laps we've got here in Monaco. So good result from Mercedes and Renault. Andrew is right up the gearbox of Seb. I think he's actually made a little bit of contact there.
Yeah, Seb's up the back of Albert too. Albert's really holding these guys up.
Andrew, I think, is going to go for a move on Seb around the outside. Oh, that is dangerous. He's nearly clipped the wall, but he's gotten away clean. I
was actually surprised that Andrew only went back onto the mediums and not onto the softs at that pit stop. So it'll be interesting to go back and watch his POV and see if he wanted the softs or not. But
Albert's run wide.
Albert's absolutely backing these guys up, though. I don't think it's intentionally. I just don't think Albert's got the pace from the couple of guys behind him. But he's doing well to hold his own.
This battle's turned into Toddy versus Bailey.
It is.
I'm just going to go ahead and look at our race director. Bailey's still on 2 penalties. Toddy has only got... I think he's only got 1 penalty. Only 1 warning, sorry. Yeah, Toddy's only got 1 warning, whereas Bailey has 2.
Albert's got another 3-second time penalty. So that's going to bump Albert out of 3rd position, unfortunately. But he's doing his teammate an absolute gem, only allowing 1 car to be up Bailey's gearbox, as per se. So, and with Albert keeping the field this tight, it's making Mackenzie's penalties hurt him even more. Because he can't drive away from the guys behind him to try and keep that position. So, everything to play, nothing really to lose. They've all done 90% of the race now. And I only know that because I had to look it up for the F5 race. It was 35.1. So they've all completed 36 laps. They've all done their 90% to be classed as a finisher. Sebastian now on the inside of Albert. Up the hill. Albert's around. Oh, that's unlucky. I don't think there's anything in it.
No,
maybe a bit of desing. It didn't look to be anyone's fault.
That will settle Renault P2 and the constructors.
And unfortunately, it's not going to help Mercedes move up in their constructors fight either. So, yeah, that's a big loss. But Renault now 2-3s. Andrew's going for a dive at Nobel. I just saw there in the background.
Seb got a bit tail happy there.
So, I don't think Toddy's got anything on Bailey pace-wise. He's sticking with him, but I don't think he's going to make anything silly and cost them both a good race here at Monaco.
I think Bailey will just be looking to keep off the curbs, and I think that actually may be a reason Toddy's holding up to Bailey's pace. Bailey's going to be driving super cautiously because he knows he's got 2 warnings. So he's looking to just not make any corner cutting mistakes in the dying laps of this race. And Toddy can afford to make another. So, well, having one less warning than Bailey. There's a 3-second gap between them and the next driver, which is Seb, who has now got Andrew following very close behind.
With Mackenzie right up his gearbox.
Even if I don't think Andrew will be going for anything stupid because he has time penalties. Even if Andrew gets around Seb,
he's not going to pull that gap.
He's not going to. No, he's definitely not going to pull that gap. So
Mackenzie looks a bit feisty here. At the back of Andrew.
Might want to ease up a bit, to be honest. And
Andrew's got
silly.
DRS around the outside, possibly side by side in the turn 1 again.
Oh, that's silly, Andrew. Oh my.
There's racing room being left. Andrew's got the position done.
Mackenzie's made contact with the back of Toddy.
With the back of Sebastian. Oh, his teammates just ploughed straight into him. Sam's had nowhere to go.
Oh,
Mackenzie gets 5-second penalty. So that is unfortunate, dropping off there for the Alfa Romeos on the final lap. Which puts now Red Bull in a good position with 3 and 5 for their constructors to further their gap. But we'll jump on board with our race leader at this stage, coming into the final sector now of the race. Really good composable drive. He's had someone behind him pretty much all race as he comes across the line to take his first victory of Season 5. That will be putting him in a very good head spot, I do believe. Sebastian in P3 due to penalties on Andrew's behalf. Andrew to P4, Addy to P5. So that is an absolute immense effort there from Addy. Mackenzie Stewart gets bumped down to P7. He gets jumped by his teammate and Sam. And we're just waiting for Albert now to cross the line to take home P8. I'll get you to invite the top 3 of Sebastian, Jacob and Bailey into the com box. Oh, what an end of the race there, ladies and gentlemen. I was almost falling asleep. And then that safety car of Josh Banks, I think it was, to bring out. So it'll be interesting to hear how different Bailey's attitude is now after we tried to get that interview at Baku and he didn't really want to talk. So just waiting for him to come into the com box.
I've just sent them all invites.
But Bailey to take the top step at Monaco, redemption for Season 4. And there we have it. The top 2 are the only 2 without penalties on the entire grid. So that's good. Good to see. So Sebastian Spice has joined the party. We'll start with you, Seb. Qualified P6, mate. Just talk us through that quickly.
Yeah, qualifying at the start went well. I got a decent banker in, so I think went out for my final run, and yeah, it didn't go to plan. Got booked by a Haas, and that's compromised my last run, so I never exactly got that run in. I would have PB that I've done before the race was a 9-1, so I was going to be up there at that front lot, but obviously that didn't happen.
Just talk us through that, because we never actually saw that incident with you and I think it was Manuela, that he got the 5-spot grid penalty. Just talk us through what happened there, because you weren't the only one that there was a bit of collisions with.
Yeah, I had an alright run up the hill, run into Massenet, I'm not sure. I don't think he saw me coming through the corner, sat on the racing line and basically drove up his ass. Personally, in my opinion, I probably should have backed out of it. I had enough time to go for it again. But that's my fault for that. But doesn't
That
explain
is
me
racing.
sitting in the racing line.
No. So then we'll talk to your race, mate. Not the greatest of starts. I think you got jumped by Mackenzie there. Coming up.
Started in front of me.
Oh, okay. So you jumped Mackenzie. So
I jumped in front of him,
retract that.
and then he got back past me. Yeah.
Okay, so just talk us through that first stint, mate. A few battles from all the way down the field. How did you feel through all of that?
Definitely an interesting race. Sort of the first stint, everyone's eyeing each other off, don't exactly want to make moves. It's early in the race. Bailey and Josh bolted from the field, whereas the rest of us got stuck behind Phil, the McLaren.
Yep.
And you just trucked along, ended up getting wing damage early through to back. Is a bit of lapse of concentration.
Yep.
Hit in, and then strategy was good fun.
Yep.
But
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, the next part of the strategy. What's it? The start of the next stint, I tried to keep up with. Yeah, shut up. Nah, trying to think. Nah, you've made me. Fuck. Nah, it's a pretty. Fuck, mate. Sorry, my language.
So you went on to the mediums. Did you do the undercut? No, you got blocked by someone because you lost a lot of time. Because you and Mackenzie come in on the same lap. You were pretty much right behind him or just in front of him. But you lost a lot of time through your pit stop. What happened there? Was that for your front wing change?
Change of wing, and then
Roger.
The next stint, I basically tried to go with Cush and Andrew for a bit, but my tyres started dropping off. Just cruising around, sort of expecting maybe some time penalties to come into play or safety car, which definitely came out and proved a factor. I knew early if there was a safety car, I was coming in to put on softs.
Yep.
And then I realised going the last couple laps that Andrew McKee that had time penalties behind me, whereas on the last lap I didn't exactly want to fight Andrew too hard.
No.
Up through Massenet, so I basically yielded a bit more than I probably would have if we were fighting on track. And then, coming home with the P3 is definitely a great result for Renault.
I was just about saying, and a great result for your team. With your teammate, Jacob Todd, P2, mate, talk us through qualifying. You got that 5-spot grid penalty. Talk us through that quickly.
Did you see what happened there? Did you catch
No.
Well, basically, I was coming up to finish my run. I was coming up to the line, and you hug the pit wall.
Yep.
So you have your shortest run. Well, obviously, I've crossed the line, and I was looking up at to see what position I was in, and Andrew's come out of the pits at the same time, and I've ran up his behind.
Yep.
Which has given me the five spot drop, but I was pretty happy with P3.
Yep.
If I'm honest with you, but disappointed to drop down.
Were you a bit surprised that Andrew copped a 5-place penalty as well? I'm assuming it's for the same incident.
It was for the same incident. Yeah, I was quite surprised actually. I didn't think. Well, to be honest, I don't think anyone's really in the wrong. You would be for driving up his rear, but anyway. Talk us through your race, mate. You've worked your way through the field. Just talk us through any main talking points of your race. Not really. I did a good overtake on Mackenzie into the chicane.
I didn't quite catch that, but we did see that you were that you moved up the position, and did you ever think of pitting under that safety car?
Not really, to be honest.
Not really?
Nah.
Okay, and then we'll go to the race winner of Bailey Ford. Congratulations, Bailey. Pole position, mate. Just talk us through that quickly. The only one in the 8s.
Yeah, I'd done a lot of practice for it in quali, of course, and it was about 2 tenths off my PB. I was on my final run. I was purple again, but I made a mistake at the swim pool chicane, so I lost that. But yeah, thankfully my bank was originally good enough to keep it. So yeah, I was pretty happy starting on pole, of course, here on Monaco. So half the job was done. I just had to keep it through the race.
Yep. You led from the start, mate. You and Josh bolted, as Seb said earlier. And then Josh got the undercut on you. Were you surprised how potent that undercut was?
Nah, I knew exactly how strong it was, and I was I was gonna go in lap 9, which was a lap earlier than he originally went in, but I was worried about getting stuck in traffic and all that, so it was a real risk whether or not I actually wanted to do it. So I tried to just stay out longer and longer to make sure that traffic was really going to go. And then when I saw Josh went in, I kind of hoped that there was going to be some traffic for him, and he's come out in like a clear scenario. So I knew he was already going to come out in front of me, and it was going to be tough to work back from there. So, but yeah, once I saw he was out in no traffic, I immediately went in the next lap, and yeah.
Yep. And then Josh crashed. You inherit the lead again. Brings out a safety car. Did you ever think of pitting? I thought you would have pitted and put on the softs for the end, but did that ever go through your head?
Yeah, I was real 50-50 for it. I was definitely thinking about the pros and cons of doing it, and I had no fresh tyres, which was the first reason why I thought I might stay out, and also the softs just overheat with my setup, so the mediums were doing their job, and I feel like the first 3 laps of the softs I would have been real pacey, but after that I would have started like losing a bit of the rear and all that, and with my 2 warnings I really had to kind of like be quite I don't know what the word is, careful with how
cautious.
I drove, I guess. Yeah, I got my second warning on lap 4, so from lap 4 to lap 39 I didn't get a warning. Really had to make sure that I kept all 4 wheels on the track.
Oh, and then yeah, so you've come home with the win, mate. Is this the start of your championship fight now? Is it, Bailey?
Maybe. I mean, it feels good to win at Monaco. It felt like a bit of redemption from last year, I guess. But I don't know. It depends what those 2 up front tend to do. If they go wheel, no race line and whatnot. But the pad didn't work around here. Never works around here. So it's I guess a bit of vice versa for the rest of the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see. I don't know. It depends what they do.
All right. So we'll leave it there, guys, unless if Harry's got anything to add.
No, just outstanding work on the race win, Bailey, and just great work in the top 3 for finishing where you did.
All right, guys. So we'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Join us next week for the Canadian Grand Prix. I'm Mark Bratby, followed with Harry Lillis and Sebastian Spicer, Jacob Todd and Bailey Ford, our 3 podium paying positions. And we shall see you all next weekend.